under 30% shooting in the second half. What did you just see from this group defensively with everything on the line to close us out?
We did what needed to be done. And, again, when we're at our best, it's the defense that's going to carry us. It's the physicality. I was pleased that we were allowed to play our style of basketball tonight, where we can be handsy, be physical, legally handsy, and just make it difficult on people. And I thought up and down the roster, we did a great job of that. And, it obviously helped us close the game out.
Talked about B-Ball and JD all throughout the series, but for JD to kind of have his breakout game in this series and Paul Reed to also contribute the way he did, what did you see from both of them?
Just the will and determination. I thought it was huge for JD, to be able to get going a little bit, but it starts with the rebounding part of it, what he was doing defensively for us, his communication. But the 4 offensive rebounds are huge, right? That means he's imposing his will on the game. And then all the other stuff comes from that. And then, B-Ball's been consistent. Every time he gets his opportunity to go out there, he does a great job going out there contributing at a high level.
Did you know going into the game you were going to go so deep into your bench so early and ride it so much? You spreading the minutes out. Is that the plan?
Yeah, that was the plan. Again, we have so much depth. Obviously foul trouble changed a couple of things for us, but we touch the depth that we have, and that they can go out and make an impact. Guys like Sass, in the 2 years we've been here, has proven that when his number's called, he's prepared and he goes out and can give us buckets, defend at a high level. So I thought he was great tonight. Up and down the roster, I thought we had great production, great intensity.
Earlier in the series, obviously, a lot of attention on Paul, his professionalism and staying ready. This year, as you put it, pretty much the whole roster contributed tonight. Speak to the coaching staff's responsibility to keep their players ready when they're not playing. So speak to your responsibility.
Yeah, I think it's, the assistant coaches, they do a wonderful job of making sure that guys are doing the things that are necessary so that, in these moments, in playoff games, right, that when their number's called, that they're prepared to play at the intensity that they can play at, whether it's the individual stuff, it's the group stuff. The assistant coaches spend a ton of time with these guys. Steve Scalzi, who's our player development coach, organizes all this stuff. He does a fabulous job of making sure guys get what they need. So every day, they're going game speed, and they can step on the floor without missing a beat.
About the depth, but what have you liked about the production you have gotten from Caris LeVert, not just from tonight, but what he has provided you guys this entire series?
Yeah, I think this is why, Vert's here. Vert's not afraid of the moment. He's a two-way impactful player. He puts a ton of pressure on defenses. He's got that off-rhythm cadence to his game, so he's hard to guard. He can get to the paint. He can make shots. And then he's defensively, he's a pest. He puts his hands on people. He's digging at the ball. He can get deflections, get steals, takes one-on-one challenges. Again, that's why we wanted Vert to be with us this year, because we knew what he was capable of in moments like this.
You guys have won 4 games in a row now, facing elimination. Just kind of what makes y'all so hard to close out?
They just don't quit. The resolve that they have, the belief that they have in one another. They just have the ability, to bounce back mentally, where they don't hang on to things, right? Like quarters don't bother them, halves don't bother them. They just move on to the next play, stay moment to moment, and try to win what's in front of them at that time. And there's a built-in trust, and there's no insecurity in our guys' chemistry. And I think that makes a huge difference in these moments.
Went into Duncan Robinson coming off the bench, even though he was available coming off that injury?
It was part, that, just seeing where he was. But, we also did like what the starting lineup looked like. And then his ability to come in off the bench and give a spark, knock down shots, to keep our offense kind of ticking versus second unit guys. Just thought that was the right thing to do.
How do you harness this momentum going into Game 7?
We understand the moment, right? We've been through it before in a Game 7.
I guess rely on the experience from the last series in a Game 7 that helped you in this, or is that kind of relevant?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I look at it as we have a great opportunity still, Luckily, we put ourselves in a position, where we have 2 shots at this. We'll gather the troops. We'll look at film. We'll, make some adjustments. But like I said, this is, winning 4, beating a team, especially a team that won 60 games 4 times in a row. It's not easy. but this is supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, we wouldn't be in it. So, great challenge for our group going to Game 7.
Kenny, you were talking about pregame. This was a good opportunity, but also we have proper fear with this team. We know
Yeah.
what they did against Orlando. Does that help you when you're not looking too far ahead? That way you can just focus on whatever the next game is. I feel like it would be easy to look far ahead, look at what's coming next, but when you can just view Game 7, okay, we have to flip that switch and go straight to that. Is
Yeah.
Mentally, I worded it weird, but is
I
that
think,
how you kind of, flip the switch for you?
I think when the buzzer sounded, I heard, it's like you just flip it. You're on. There's nothing you can do. Again, and I heard the word opportunity in that locker room. We got a great opportunity still. Not going to be easy going on the road for Game 7, but Game 7s are a toss-up. Especially two teams even like this. We obviously got to play better. I mean, that starts there. But I see the group right now. No heads down. No, hey, we blew that. None of that. They play great. We didn't play so well. Now we're gonna flip the narrative. Game 7.
Right, so we just heard from Cavs head coach there, Kenny Atkinson. What really stood out to me, he said, we have another shot at this.
Yeah.
But it was a big missed opportunity for them. What do you think went wrong for Cleveland here?
I think that Detroit just came out with a lot of urgency. They came out with the team as a team that was playing in Game 7. And I think when you come out with that intensity, that mindset, that urgency, it kind of put their stamp on the game. And it felt like Cleveland responded a little bit, but majority of the game they were on the heels. And but if I'm Cleveland, I'm going into Game 7 knowing that we've proven that to ourselves that we can win here on the road.
That's right.
It's that's what you go in. That's how confident you are. But you definitely are a little upset about how this
you're on
game
your
played
home
out.
court. Yeah. I agree with you, and I say it like this: Detroit won the line of scrimmage. Like they pushed them back all night long. Like that was their way of dominating the physical game, and I think that's what they hang their hat on, and Cleveland did not answer that bell tonight. They had been the last few games. Like, if you watch some of those battles in the paint for rebounds and things like that, Cleveland was winning a lot of those the last few games. But this game tonight, Detroit came seriously ready, and their two stars showed up. Like, that's when your big dogs show up, you got a chance to win on the road, and both of their guys showed out today.
The two big dogs on Cleveland's team, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, are at the podium. Let's listen in.
I was just hungry from the jump. At the end of the day, we didn't match it. So we had an opportunity. We didn't do it. So now we got to go on the road and get a win.
What needs to happen for this group between now and the start of Game 7?
Win the recovery battle. And understand it's going to be a dogfight coming up. Simple as that.
Mark. John, in this game, obviously, Stars guarding you guys and you're chasing around Donkey. Do you feel just by the end, do you feel worn down at all? Or?
No, I'm good.
Kenny.
For either one of you guys, were you guys happy with the level of intensity from the get-go that you guys brought tonight?
Nope. Nope. Not at all. No, not at all.
Can you elaborate as to maybe why it wasn't there, considering this was a chance to clinch and go to the Eastern Conference Finals?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I think we didn't start off the game well. Still had the lead, and then just throughout the course of the game, we never really kicked it to that second level, or even second level, which is the level we need to get as 3 or 4, but we just never really got it to that level. We had opportunities, little small spurts, but it was never like a consistent flow on both ends of the ball, which is a little frustrating, but you can't do nothing about it. You gotta start focusing, gearing our mind for one game on the road.
Jimmy.
James, you've been first round. You were saying that we're the ones the media makes Game 7. We put so much stakes on it, and stuff like that. What is the right balance for you guys with playing like it's just another game, but also recognizing the stakes?
just gotta go play one game. Like, it's one game on the road. Like, it's no other way to put it. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's, you got to be detailed. You got to get off to a really good start, and you got to maintain and sustain it for, entire game, however long that takes. So it really is just one game. and we got to, that's not necessarily play perfect, but we got to do the details that we've been preaching.
Donovan, when you have the Raptors were throwing all kinds of weird defenses at you, the Pistons, you found your rhythm in the series, and then tonight. So when you have these playoff struggles or a game that doesn't go the way you want, how do you bounce back? How do you pinpoint what needs to change?
Well, I can't dwell on it. You know what I mean? I missed shots tonight. Do I think some of them were tougher shots that I could have got better? Sure. But you could say that. I can say that about every game, right? So I'm not here to look at the fact that I missed shots. It's just the overall force and impact of the game. Tonight I missed shots. I've been making them most every game this series, and tonight I didn't. So I'm not worried about that. It's more so the everything else. We missed an opportunity. But I can't do nothing. We can't do anything about it. We got to go out there and win on the road.
For either one of you guys, you finished the first half on a 7-0 run, but then they started the third quarter on a 10-1 run. With that 10-1 run, what did you notice that allowed them to get off to such a good start in the second half?
Force. Simple as that. And to James's point, that's what's upsetting. But it starts with all of us. It starts with that first group. When we get hit in the mouth, we didn't punch back. And we have throughout the course of this playoffs. And tonight we didn't do that. And we got to go do that on Sunday.
Were you surprised that Sar Thompson was not ejected?
Honestly, I didn't even watch the replay, to be honest with you, so I don't know how extensive the hit was.
Spence. Obviously, Kenny touched a lot about you guys kind of setting the tone, your personalities, and how you kind of handle these types of situations. How much do you guys kind of lean into that and understanding when you have a game like this, you got to flush it?
I mean, everything you want is on the other side of hard. Nothing good comes easy. You know what I mean? That's kind of how you have to look at it. We could sit here and dwell on this and carry that into Sunday. What's that going to do for us, right? So understand we have an opportunity. We missed it. Now we have another opportunity on Sunday, and that's the mindset.
You guys have been part of plenty of game sevens before, but like even reflecting back to how the first series went, going into a game seven, what can you kind of pull from just the more recent experience you guys have with that to go into that?
It's going to take every little bit of energy, effort. We may make shots, we may miss shots. We got to stay collected, stay together. We're on the road. I have no doubt Cavs fans will be there too. So at the end of the day, bless you. At the end of the day, we all we got, and we're on the road and go from there.
Last one, Jeff. When either one of you, when you feel that intensity isn't there, as you said, James. So you guys are in your huddles during timeouts. What do you say to each other to maybe get that intensity back?
I think it's unlimited encouragement, honestly, from each and every guy. It's nonstop. Encouragement is enthusiasm, and it's guys uplifting each other. Trying to motivate each other. All the right things, the positive energy. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, there were spurts where we like in the second quarter where we played well. And I think it started with our defense, and not shooting the basketball well. I think is I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but that's not a reason. Like, our defense has to be the priority. From the beginning of the game, until the last buzzer. That's like priority number one. And I don't think we necessarily did that from the beginning of the game, until the final buzzer, which is the reason why, we didn't play well. So we feed off our defense. Our energy comes from our defense, and we didn't do that well enough like they did. And so then our offense is, a little bit more difficult just because, we're not getting stopped. So we got to take the ball out. And it's just a trickle effect. So in order to win this game, we got to, hang our hats on the defensive end, and, we should be in a good position.
Okay, it's not right.
Third quarter to, win it 30-11 and just to hold them to 29% overall in the second half. What did you like about what the group was able to do defensively tonight?
Yeah, I think we came out Different than, like I said last time, we didn't execute down the stretch. This time we came out and we executed. We didn't have no laps. We didn't have no my bads. And we came out and dominated like we were supposed to.
Dennis, what is it about this team's ability to go into adversity moments, but it still feel like you guys are able to come together and come away on the other side?
I mean, honestly, I just think you gotta look at the backgrounds of this group. I'm not supposed to be in this position, according to everybody in the league. So I just think we just special. You know what I mean? Like we just want to defy all the odds. Like, we not taking nothing from nobody. You know what I mean? We know it's us against the world. So we just try to come out and bind together and bond together. We family. You know what I mean? So we just try to come out and we gonna fight.
Well, did you figure coming into this game that you guys would need everybody, like pretty much everybody on the roster would be contributing tonight?
Yeah, we've been doing that this whole year. You know what I mean? It's just about trying to. It's not my job, but the coach's job is tough. We got a team full of guys that can contribute to winning, so he's just trying to figure out how to factor everybody in. But we know whoever step out there can help us win.
What did you see out of Marcus Sasser tonight?
X factor. We've been talking about it all series. Like, y'all know that's my dog, so we talk all the time. And I just told him I know it's a lot of shots out there, and he's a great shooter, and he can help space the floor. So I knew when he got out there, I just kept telling him to be you. You know what I mean? Like, don't defer to nobody. Don't look at us. Don't look at none of us. Just go out there and be you.
What did you see from JD that just allowed him to be at his best tonight?
I think his energy and his spirit was right. That's all I kept telling him, especially after last game. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your energy and spirit right, and God gonna bless you. So that's all he did.
There's been a lot of talk, obviously, with yourself and B-Ball Paul. You guys out of the rotation, but you have to be professional and be ready when your time comes. Speak to the coaching staff and how they help you stay ready when maybe things, maybe not, you're out of the lineup for temporarily.
Yeah, I think just, I mean, it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you feel like you can be out there impacting winning. It's definitely not easy to just have those conversations and hear it all the time. But we do a really good job of just keeping each other grounded and knowing that the coach is just trying to do his best for the team. But they just do a good job of keeping us ready, stay ready games. Well, we've been playing and saying it all year. We just tell each other, stay ready. Just always stay ready. And the coaches do a good job of that, of just talking to you and taking us through workouts on a day-to-day basis.
How much do you feel the last Game 7 can kind of prepare y'all for Sunday?
Yeah, like I say, man, our back's been against the wall, so we know what it feels like. We know that Detroit going to be rocking, the energy going to be there. And like you said, we just came from a Game 7, and so did they. But it's just about the better man, the best man, may the best man win.
All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, DJ.
I love that Dennis Jenkins immediately said he was the X factor when asked about Sasser and what he could do out there today, because the Pistons bench outperformed the Cavs bench 48 to 19 points. How did they step up, Coach?
Well, I mean, opportunity first. Like, Coach gave guys, that hadn't been playing opportunity. But I think, all year long, it's been next man up for them. Right. And so they've developed the habit of, having confidence in every guy that's going to play. And, like you said, the back's against the wall. They're the toughest team in the NBA. They weren't number one for nothing. And, adding a guy like Sasser to the rotation, like you said, another tough guy, another shooter. They need all the space they can get, right? And my man Caesar just pulled up a great stat for us. When the Pistons outshoot a team from three, they rarely lose, 28-5, counting the playoffs. So, and that's not their game. You look at that's another 50 games they didn't outshoot the teams, and they still was number one. But when they make threes, they are hard to beat because that defense is locked down.
That's crazy. So now we turn to the next game on Sunday, watch party at Coach's house. He doesn't know that, but I just announced it. In Detroit, of course, both of these teams won their first round series in 7. Who do you like in round 2?
Ooh, this is tough. I mean, going back into Detroit is going to be a tough game. But, I feel like if Cleveland knows that they can go in there and win, like I said before, they can force turnovers. I think both teams had 17, 18 turnovers tonight, so they got to be able to get those down. But I think that it's going to be tough to beat Detroit at home, Game 7. They're number one for a reason, and we talk about trust. We talked about it yesterday with Oklahoma City and their team. They're number one seeds for a reason. They believe in themselves, their teammates, and it's just, like you said, next man up. They talk about stay ready games, staying prepared, being pros. And when their number's called, they go out there and they're successful. And when you see that from teams, those are the good ones.
And the way they played today on the road, that was a statement, Coach.
It was, and I'm telling you, if Cleveland allows them to slow them down, it's curtains. And I think James Harden said it best. They have to get stops, because if the ball's going through the net and the Pistons are getting to the line and they constantly have to deal with the Pistons just waiting for them right there, that's going to be a long night in Detroit. Their defense must key their offense so they can get numbers out in transition, get those threes flying, get some easy baskets, because tonight they were in mud. Like they looked like they were playing in mud, because all night long, you know, the Pistons were in their face. Like I said, the line of scrimmage was 94 feet tonight, and they won that battle.
Yeah. Not curtains. That's crazy. All right, we'll be back with more on the association post.